Hey there, YouTube world. You're catching me here again at work, and it's really slow here at work, so my boss says it's okay if I record on my break, so yeah. Anyways, today a lot of Olympic rosters were announced for hockey, and one I was looking forward to was Canada, and there was a lot of surprising people who did and did not make the Olympic roster, and it's not really a surprise though that people got left off because Canada's so loaded with good players that someone has to be cut. So, anyways, there was a couple of interesting people that didn't make the team, such as Claude Giroux and Martin St. Louis, and Claude Giroux I can kind of see because he had a slow start to the year, but he eventually picked it up, and his slow start might be considered because of the fact that he broke his hand in the off-season and he needed surgery. He didn't miss any games really, but he just had a really slow start. It took him like 10 games to score a goal, but now he's really picked it up, but apparently too little too late. So Claude Giroux was left off the roster, and Martin St. Louis, there was an interesting person. Although he is 38 years old, I'm really surprised that he wasn't on the team. I mean, he's a good vet. I mean, it would have been his third or fourth Olympics. I'm not too sure, but he's a veteran to the Olympics and to the NHL, and the fact that he was left out of the roster really surprised me, in fact, because he's teammates with Steven Stamkos, and Stamkos, there is another reason why that was really surprising, because he was on the roster, and he has a broken leg, and so it's a real gamble. Hello, Ashley.
Hi.
And anyways, it's a real gamble of bringing... Hey, this is Ashley from my work. Anyways, it was a gamble bringing Steven Stamkos because he has a broken leg, and they have to...
Skating.
He's skating. Yes, he's skating. My boss says he's skating, so... Anyways, he's skating, but it's still a gamble. He could be ready for the Olympics, he might not be, and so he'll be one of the injured reserve players, but if he does make it and he is good to play, that he's a super talented forward, and to not bring him would be a stupid decision. So I guess it's a gamble that they kind of have to take, because if Steven Stamkos was sitting at home watching the Olympics and he was good to play, that'd be a big disappointment, because I want to see Stamkos playing. And then there was a couple of lock players that were like, for sure, they were gonna be there. Obviously, like Sidney Crosby, and one lock, it wasn't like an official lock, but I saw Roberto Luongo making the team irregardless. Sorry, regardless. Irregardless is a double negative, but anyways. I saw Roberto Luongo making the team because not only did he play in last Olympics, and he played awesome, they won gold, of course, and so anyways, the fact that if Luongo wasn't there, I'd be really surprised, because yes, there's other good goaltenders, but no one with the experience of Luongo, and it could be a gamble putting him as the number one because it's a one-game elimination thing, and he sometimes has this ability to choke, just like that. And so, I guess it could be a gamble to bring someone who's not super consistent under pressure, but that's what your backups are for. And so they also have Carey Price, who's going to be competing with Roberto Luongo for the number one. And Carey Price obviously earned his spot on the roster by his play in this season so far. He has played super awesome. He's one of the reasons that the Canadiens are doing so well, and he's a great goaltender. And then number 3 on the depth chart, Mike Smith, he's undoubtedly a good goaltender, and he's on an average or a slightly above average team. So the fact that he plays that well on not a super team is really good too. And surprise that was kind of left off, probably just because he's trailing off in his career, but Martin Brodeur, he was the backup for last Olympics, but Martin Brodeur said it himself, there was a lot to compete with, in that he'd be completely honored to be on the team, but he also wouldn't be super disappointed to not be, because there's so many good goaltenders from Canada. And then another thing that happened that was a surprise was PK Subban. PK Subban, he's a younger player, he won the Norris Trophy last year, which is for the best defenseman. And anyways, he made the team, and he's going to have some chemistry with his goaltender, Carey Price, who they both play for the Canadiens. Now, PK Subban, he's a really good offensive defenseman. He scores tons of points. He's currently leading the Canadiens with 33 points. But the thing is he's not super responsible defensively because he's only 24 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyways, PK, he's a good guy, and he's a really good spark for the offense. And so I guess they could leave him off and bring him in as an extra in case they need that spark. I mean, if they're not getting goals and they're getting shut out in the round-robin play, then for sure bring in PK and get some goals from him. And so, yeah, PK Subban, there was a surprise for on the roster. And a couple surprises for not being on the roster was Martin St. Louis and Claude Giroux and Martin Brodeur. And another surprise to be on the roster was, what's his name? Oh my goodness. My mind just went blank. I don't remember. Wow. That slipped my mind. But anyways, doesn't matter. If I remember, I'll leave it in the comments. But anyways, thanks for watching another Brownie blog, and have a great 2014.